Good morning, everyone. Lisa's looking for some last people that might have been confused about the change of room today. Anybody else out there?
No.
Okay. Everybody else sees. All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody could make it this morning. I think we probably might not be a huge crowd with rain in the forecast, but at least it's not 8 degrees below. If it was going to be 8 degrees below again, take my word for it, I was going to cancel. I know better than to compete with that kind of stuff. At any rate, we have a quiet spell right now, and I hope everybody is enjoying the quiet spell. It seems like the last 2 or 3 Christmases in a row. Quite frankly, we've been in a calamity. There's been a crisis going on in Washington, wherever Obama might have been vacationing at the moment. It was very traumatic for all of us because we're on pins and needles what's going to happen to the debt ceiling, the continuing resolution, or whatever. Government by crisis. And it was really nice to be able to have a Christmas for Christmas this year. And we hope that'll last a little while. Well, it won't last perpetually. January 26th, the House Republicans are going into caucus to finalize their strategy on the next round of fights with the White House. March 7th is the next time the federal government's going to run out of money. So there will be fights directly ahead. But it's nice to have the refreshing Christmas holidays. And I'm really looking forward to perhaps the Republican Senate supporting the Republican House. And because the two of them are together, the Republican Party can support both. And because they're together, the Tea Party can support all of them and try to restore some sanity to our government. I think it takes all of us working together in a coalition. Quite frankly, I don't see how we can get to 50% without that coalition. That means the establishment people who the Tea Party out need to quit or figure out some way of getting elections won without volunteers, because that's what we do. On the other side, the Tea Party, we got some people in our ranks that like to throw firebombs. It's become a habit. They need to learn something better, something more constructive, how to work with others. I think 2014 is going to be a year that will put 2010 in the shadows. The only thing preventing us from doing that is us. We have Obamacare out there that is just going to be a giant millstone around the neck of the Democrats if we let it happen. And if we don't give them something to be distracted by. That's my editorial moment. And that, I see Mike here. He always gives great invocation to us. Sorry, no warning. But you're the man. Yeah. I'm on, I guess. Okay. All right, let's bow our heads. Sure. Lord, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the ability to gather this morning. We just thank you for the blessings that you've given us in this nation. And we just we come before you and humble ourselves and just ask for wisdom. We ask that you be with our speakers today, that we would be able to remain enthusiastic as we leave here and be able to just make a difference, Lord, in our government, this wonderful nation that you've given to us to live in, and all the blessings that came with it. And just ask all these things in Christ's name. And now, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. officials. Nancy, I think you're the only one that's not going to be up here speaking today, so Nancy, our municipal court.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, and I'm glad that our commissioner is here to speak with us.
Right.
Speak with us.
Right. Right. Anything else, Nancy?
Oh, the Lincoln Day dinner. Is that what we're talking about? He always gives me little hints. We actually are going to have a Lincoln Day dinner here this year, and the date has been changed. So the new date for our Lincoln Day dinner will be March 6th. It will be at Williams on the
March 6th, Lincoln Day dinner, will be Williams on the Lake. It'll be either 6 or 6:30, we don't have that time. And Auditor Yost will be our keynote speaker.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, I was just with his representative yesterday. Scratch that. Treasurer Josh Mandel will be our keynote speaker. I was just with, so I'm getting my thoughts. So again, since I had to scratch the date too, just a reminder, it is March 6th, and Josh Mandel will be our keynote speaker. It's either going to be 6 or 6:30 it'll start. I'll let you know for sure. It'll be in an email, and then I'll be here next month probably, or a couple of weeks.
Nancy, what are
I'm also supposed to be at Williams on the Lake.
What are the ticket prices, Nancy?
The tickets, we haven't set the price yet, but probably will be $50. And one other thing that I have been reminded to let you know, that it is also my responsibility, Judge Dunn, his committee, not the judge, but his committee is going to be having a kickoff party for him on January 22nd at the Medina Eagles. We can pass this around. It's actually a free kickoff. It will be at 6 o'clock at the Medina Eagles. There'll be subs and pop and stuff. And we will find out from his committee about how we can help him retain the seat as Common Pleas Judge. So I'm going to pass around his flyer, or his committee's flyer.
Kevin, did you want to say anything in your own defense on that?
Thanks, Jim. Everyone's welcome to come. Open door. We hope to get as many people there as possible. We haven't heard anybody right now who's pulling petitions to run against me, but I'm sure that something will come my way. That's just how the other side does things. Also, if any of you are registered Republicans, if you would, I have a petition for myself. I have to get myself on the ballot again, and I have to get my petitions filled out. So I like to get 150 signatures total, so to make sure that the 50 good ones are all there. So if anyone is registered Republican, would do me the courtesy of coming back to Medina and signing my petition before you leave today, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right. Guests. Do we have any new guests who are here for the first time?
Yes, Steve Anderson.
Excellent. Glad you could join us. We're a conservative grassroots organization that formed a little over 5 years ago, I think now. And after Obama won the 2008 election, we decided we were just going to have to keep on going for 4 more years. Unfortunately, he won in 2012 also, so I guess we're going for 4 more years after that. At any rate, if you think about it, what conservatives really need is an advocacy mechanism. There are others, chambers of commerce, Republican parties, right to life groups. There are various advocacy organizations, and there are some organizations that can advocate one thing, advocate another thing, or advocate nothing. We provided services that we could advocate conservative causes across the board, essentially giving our membership and our supporters a way to give voice and a way to help inform our elected officials what it is that the conservative grassroots, which we think is more than 50% of the population, there's probably about another 20% that just don't realize they're conservative. We help them out. We've been very pleased in the last couple of years by what's been done, especially by our House of Representatives, holding the line against the White House, against impossible odds. You figure you can't pass a law without the Senate concurring. You can't pass a law without getting past the president's veto. Obviously, we haven't passed a lot of laws from the House of Representatives that have been really meaningful. But hopefully that will improve markedly in 2014, and that will set us up for 2016. So some people are disappointed by other organizations that really aren't well suited to be advocates. Well, that's what we are. We are advocates. We can knock on anybody's door, meet them as nonpartisan neighbors, friends from across the way or from the next town over, etc., and engage them on the issues, help inform them and inflame their passions. There are a lot of people out there that don't want to see a political party brand on their doorstep, Democrat or Republican. And if you identify yourself as one of those to them, they're going to close the door. They're going to say, I don't have any money to contribute. You'll have my vote, or you won't have my vote, whatever. They just tune you right out. But Medina County Friends and Neighbors, how do you close the door on that? You pretty much have to listen to what the issue is. Anyway, that's what we do. We're an advocacy organization, conservative grassroots. We give everybody an opportunity to get involved and have an impact. We have another guest. Chris Long was expected to arrive at some point. You want to give us about a 10-minute update?
Yeah.
But he's not here yet. So if we have no further ado.
Jim, I just have one person that just sneaked in on us, and that would be our state senator, Larry Alba.
Oh, yeah. Larry, do you really have opposition this time?
No, I got up till 2016.
Oh, that's very good. Okay, it's Dave Hall that has opposition.
Yes.
I'm astonished. I'm absolutely astonished. How can you oppose Dave Hall? Oh. After the job he's done. At any rate, I'm glad you're here. If you have anything you'd like to toss in, just feel free.
If there's anything in particular you want me to talk about, otherwise I think we're going back into session next Tuesday. We've
Yeah, take a couple of minutes here. I think a lot of us are interested in that.
Absolutely. We've been out of the legislature since the first week of December, but we're going back into session next Tuesday, and we're going to have a pretty busy spring. I think we're going to be working on a lot of different things, but most importantly, probably we're going to do a budget correction bill, which we call the mid-biennial review, the MBR, and we did some pretty significant income tax relief in the last budget last year, about a $2.7 billion net income tax cut over the next 3 years, and we're going to be looking to add to that. And there's a lot of different avenues we're looking at, but as I think I've mentioned here before, in general, we believe in the concept of moving toward a fair tax, or at least closing loopholes and exemptions and just bringing the entire rate for everybody down. So everybody's paying the same rate, and it's a low rate, and we don't have a higher rate where if you have lobbyists or you have special interests looking out for you, trying to get through special carve-outs, then you're treated better than everyone else. So I think we're moving in the right direction. We're going to have several $100 million, if I had to guess. I think the governor would probably like to get to about $1 billion in additional tax relief, and we're going to do what we can to try to come up with a number like that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Jim, I gotta do my due diligence here.
One other person we have here that we probably need to introduce before Commissioner Friedrich is Commissioner Steve Hambley, who is a candidate for the 69th district here in Ohio. So
Oh, great. That's,
So I'll pass the mic back to him.
yeah, thanks for that update, Nancy.
I got the state guy on, so I better.
Good morning, thank you very much. And I also have my, as Judge Dunn has, also have my petitions for those of you living in the 69th district, which is the Republican-rich district. It's like almost 3-to-1 Republican. So unfortunately, in the other part that they've all inherited is far too many Democrats. But be that as it may, Dave does need the help, and anybody who lives in those areas, he's going to need every Republican vote he can get. So, but with that, turn it over to Jim and Adam.
All right. And before Larry gets off onto his next thoughts here, I just want to thank him and the rest of the Ohio Senate for its efforts to control our budget and our taxes. I wish we'd won on the continuing, not the continuing resolution, the conference board. I'm sure there were a lot of others down there, and quite frankly, our own Bill Batchelder has taken somewhat of a hit with a lot of the Tea Party people throughout the state because of the way that ended up. Hopefully that will resolve itself. Mary, any other business before we get to our guest speaker? Hearing none, I would like to introduce County Commissioner Adam Friedrich, one of our favorites. He's running for re-election this year. He's got to be a workaholic. I mean, he's a family man, and we can identify with that. I mean, kids can really fill your schedule. Okay. He's got his regular full-time job that he had before he was a county commissioner. Then he's a county commissioner, and now he's picking up the NEOCA, responsibility for the metropolitan planning. So I'd like to turn the podium over to Adam and give him us an update on where the MAC has been, where it's going, and whatever else he has on his mind that he thinks you have to share with us. Adam?
Good morning. Appreciate the opportunity to speak here this morning. I was a last-minute fill-in. My understanding was Jim and Lisa tried to get Dennis Rodman, but he was overseas. I am running for re-election this year, 2014. This is already my 4th year. I can't believe it. And I already told Mayor Hanwell that if he doesn't endorse me, I'm going to cause a traffic jam in Medina Square like he's never seen before. What I'm going to do this morning, I've got about 7-8 topics that I just want to throw out at you. And for the most part, I think it's going to be relatively boring, but I've always contended that if we're doing our job right, that's the way that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be relatively boring. If you've got questions as I go through there, instead of just saving them to the end, if you want to talk about something, it's a small group, this can be relatively discussional. And I usually do better in that sort of setting than just staying up here and talking to people. So just real quick, from 2013, we haven't seen the year-end numbers, but I've seen the numbers through through November. And the county budget, we've spent about $100,000 more than we've taken in on a close to $33 million budget through the end of November. And I'm continually impressed with the folks that we have that work in the finance department. Chris Jacob, who's the administrator, does a lot of work there. Scott Miller, as well as the people that they have in his department, because they really, they really look at the numbers and the money as a business. And when they give us these monthly reports, they'll say we've spent X number of tens of thousands of dollars less or more, and here's why. And what's interesting is if you look at the analysis through November, the big thing that's really just killed us as far as dollars is the assigned council fees. We're a few $100,000 over what we've projected. And I was going to talk about this one in the 2014 budget, but I'll do it now. And Steve would attest to this. When we did the 2014 budget hearings, we have 25 or so different departments that come in, Judge Dunn and the auditor and the treasurer and all the different departments. I am amazed at how much of the county budget is impacted by heroin. Adult probation, sheriff's department, the judge, job and family services. It is an absolutely amazing thing to me how much of our budget, and then also obviously state and federal dollars, and Larry, if you've got anything you want to throw out, how much is impacted by the resurgence of heroin. It is an amazing thing to me, how much money we're spending. So 2013, we're at least at this point, we're a little over budget. Assigned council fees is the largest part of that. We had a little bit, we weren't quite at our projections for sales tax revenue, but for the most part, again, things balance and we live within our means. We've just finished the 2014 budget hearings this past week, and again, we are blessed, I think, to live in a county where the judges, you've got the judges who are Democrats, the prosecutor, the auditor, John Burke is the treasurer, we've got all the different departments. Folks just come to those budget hearings with a very, very common sense approach of, I need to live within my means. I mean, really, there are no things that just get thrown out there that this is a huge financial surprise. We're at the point where, there are departments that have computer needs, server upgrades. The sheriff will always have cars and equipment that is getting old and it needs to be replaced. And those things are expensive, and we need to accommodate for those things, especially, from my perspective, the things that pertain to public safety and infrastructure. But things are just done on a very, very common sense basis. There's really no big surprises, no argument, and it might be due to the fact that we've got 3 Republicans holding purse strings on a lot of those things. But it is a smooth process. It was a very smooth process here in Medina County. Looking back at some of the things that I thought were somewhat significant in 2013, one of the big